Today, as I mentioned earlier, is the day of our annual meeting, which was rescheduled because of a level 2 snow alert on January 20th. Only 12 of us were able to be in church that day. It was suggested by some that were here that I should preach the sermon again, so I decided to do that. Thank you all for being here in worship, and please do stick around for the annual meeting, and thanks be to God for better weather and for caffeine as we spring forward. Over the years, I have read a number of books and articles and even studied in seminary about ways to welcome visitors to church. And the book and the classes and the studies show what probably will sound obvious, that visitors, like members, ought to feel welcome and that they matter. Friendliness and kindness, hospitality, needs to be a part of the church experience in general for everyone, but especially for visitors. The studies show, too, that many churches do not always do a good job of truly making visitors feel welcome and that they matter just as they are. And consequently, churches lose the chance to help someone on their quest to find a welcoming church, a place where they matter, and possibly even find Jesus' loving way to come. And it's not that most churches and their members don't want to be welcoming, it's that people already inside don't always make sure to extend the welcome. Usually because they don't want to bother the visitor or seem like a pushy religious person, or they think someone else in the church got to, like a greeter or an usher or a minister. Greeters and ushers and ministers tend to be great at trying to welcome folks, but they don't always get to everyone. Plus, once folks are in, they need hospitality throughout the visit. And hospitality is not just the ushers, greeters, or ministers' job. The truth is, biblically, hospitality, friendliness and kindness for strangers. Friendliness and kindness is everyone's duty. Church goers need to think of hospitality for strangers as being akin to hospitality we offer to welcome a visitor to our home. And I doubt there are many churchgoers who would not talk to a visitor in their home for any of the reasons that I mentioned, most especially leaving it up to someone else. Those healthy adults would make sure to check in on the comfort of a visitor to their home. We do that sort of welcoming at home without overwhelming guests. Greetings are expected by visitors in the home. We even expect greetings in businesses, right? Hospitality, friendliness, and kindness to new people matters in the culture at home and in businesses, and it matters in church. We can probably all appreciate that, and I would hope go out of our way to make efforts to welcome. And actually, providing hospitality should not just occur in our homes, businesses, and churches. Because the truth is that biblically, hospitality is not just everyone's duty, but due to absolutely everyone, everywhere we go. We are to give hospitality to everyone, everywhere. In our scripture lesson today, Jesus provides an excellent example with his first miracle. He makes wine at a wedding for guests. It's not Jesus' wedding. It's not even one of his followers getting married. He's just one of many guests. But Jesus takes the time and energy to provide extravagant hospitality to everyone, even when he's a guest. It's quite telling that in his first miracle in the Gospel of John that Jesus did not cure a physical health issue. He cured a hospitality issue. And if we think about it, Jesus can be heard to do that with everyone, everywhere, all the time in the Gospels, right? He especially provides extravagant hospitality to those others might not welcome. Jesus is friendly and kind to all manner of outcasts, all manner, criminals, aliens, those who are diseased, the mentally ill, those of other faiths, other races, and other genders. Jesus models extravagant hospitality throughout his life and teachings. And Jesus is not supposed to be the only one who provides extravagant hospitality to everyone everywhere. Jesus' followers are supposed to do that too. Theologically and biblically speaking, God put humans in charge of managing what we might call Hotel Earth. We are God's agents at God's hotel. And consequently, everywhere we go, we are expected to be caretakers of God's creation. And this includes treating strangers to hospitality, friendliness, and kindness, like at a wedding, getting all the guests wine when theirs runs out, and the best wine at that. Each human guest on earth we encounter is due friendliness and kindness. They are due our seeing to their well-being while they are on Hotel Earth. And we can hear Jesus' mother, Mary, in the reading as symbolizing God's call to the Christ within to provide extraordinary hospitality to all the guests, which Jesus the Christ does. Extravagant hospitality is a main theme in the Old Testament and in the New Testament. The Bible's full of stories reminding God's people to provide hospitality to others repeatedly. We are taught the lesson that strangers are to be welcomed not just in sacred gatherings like our worship service or the homestead, but out in the community and well beyond. Their well-being is to be attended to everywhere. We see this in the famous story in Genesis 18 when three strangers show up where Abraham and Sarah have pitched their tent. And the strangers turn out to be angels. And the hospitality that Abraham and Sarah provide has these ripple effects that lead to the formation of a faith that changes the world. In the New Testament, at Hebrew 13, that Genesis moral is echoed in this instruction, quote, "Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing that some have entertained angels without knowing it." And elsewhere in the Bible, the notion is stretched so that hospitality for strangers goes to its fullest extent beyond the homestead and places of worship and out into the entire home. We are commanded to treat strangers residing throughout the homeland as if they are not strangers. And what's more, we're commanded to love them as we love our sons. Leviticus 19 long ago made this crystal clear command: you shall not oppress the alien. The alien who resides with you shall be to you as the citizens among you. You shall love the alien as yourself. Jesus himself takes it up another notch in Matthew 25, where he teaches we are to treat strangers as if they are Christ, because as Genesis long before Jesus noted, humans are images of God. It is that you may be entertaining angels amped up to. You are entertaining God incarnate Christ in everyone at Hotel Earth. In Matthew 25, which I will read at the end of this sermon, Jesus teaches that when we welcome the stranger, we are welcoming Christ. And the Apostle Paul can be heard to continue this Christ is in everyone idea. In Colossians 3, he writes, there is no longer Greek and Jew, circumcised and uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave and free, but Christ is all and in all. Back on January 20th, I had that quote from Colossians ready to read for an afternoon Martin Luther King service, who said it was also canceled due to the level 2 snow alert. The topic set for that service was God and Martin Luther King Jr. on welcoming the stranger. A number of people from different faith traditions planned to address what that meant to them. And some of us put together a pair of quotes on the topic, one from Dr. King and one from faith traditions. Janae, Robin, Sandy, and Anna and I were among those who prepared the quotes. And I had paired the quote from Colossians that I just read with this quote from Martin Luther King. Through our scientific genius, we have made of a world a neighborhood. And now, through our moral and spiritual genius, we must make of it a brotherhood. Centuries ago, civilization acquired the certain knowledge that man has emerged from barbarity only to the degree that he recognizes relatedness to his fellow man. In the very male-centered language of his era, Reverend Dr. King is telling us everyone, male and female, is related. And in the male-centered language of his day, Jesus has us call God Father and claims God as Father, makes us all brothers and sisters. And Paul claims we are related too. And the point of Jesus and Paul and Reverend King is that we are family. We all have Christ within, and we need to act like it. And consequently, we're called to welcome Christ in every stranger, as we would welcome family, as we would welcome God incarnate, Christ. And that means extravagant hospitality is due to Christ in everyone, everywhere. It doesn't matter if the stranger is sick, poor, imprisoned, native, alien, male, female, old, young, Democrat, Republican, rich, or of another faith, other able, LGBTQ, straight, red, yellow, black, or white. They are all supposed to be as precious in our sight as they are in God's sight. And the challenge for all of us, certainly including me, is to ask ourselves, are we doing our best to individually and collectively offer hospitality to every stranger on hotel earth? And if not, why not? Is it because we are sure we will not encounter angels without knowing? Is it because we do not think commands to treat resident aliens as citizens and love them apply anymore? Is it because Paul is wrong, that there still are Greek and Jew, circumcised and uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave, and free? Christ is not all or in all of us. Or did Dr. King get it wrong? We are not all related, and we have no duty to make a family of humankind. Or is Jesus wrong, that really we ought not to welcome Christ in strangers? Or do we simply decide that there's not much to gain to it, so why should it matter to us to tend to the well-being of others, to offer extravagant hospitality to everyone, everywhere? As I said, I'm closing with Jesus' story of hospitality in Matthew, which sets out what we are to do and what we gain or lose by how we do it. And we hear these verses here in this worship space from time to time because they apply to us and to this age more perhaps than ever before. Because as Reverend Dr. King noted, we have made the world a neighborhood. Now we must make of it a brotherhood. And we can fairly add a sisterhood. You heard Jesus' words in Matthew 25, verses 31 to 46. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory. And all the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate people one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will put the sheep on his right hand and the goats on his left. And then the king will say to those on his right hand, "Come, you that are blessed by my Father. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me." And then the righteous will answer, "Lord, when was it that we saw you hungry and gave you food, or thirsty and gave you something to drink? And when was it that we saw you a stranger and welcomed you, or naked and gave you clothing? And when was it that we saw you sick or in prison and visited you?" And the king will answer them, "Truly I tell you, just as you did it to one of the least of these who are members of my family, you did it to me." And then he will say to those in his left hand, "You that are accursed, depart from me into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not welcome me. naked, and you did not give me clothing, sick and in prison, and you did not visit me. And then they also will answer, Lord, when was it that we saw you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or naked or sick or in prison and did not take care of you? And then he will answer them, truly I tell you, just as you did not do it to one of the least of these, you did not do it to me. And these will go away into eternal punishment, but the righteous into eternal life. Those are the words of Jesus for the world. And may we, as Jesus followers, take them to heart